What's going on, guys? My name's Connor and welcome back to another Cod Warzone video. Have you felt like recently you've been dying from deaths that you just shouldn't be dying from? If yes, I have a bunch of tips for you guys on how you can win more gunfights in Warzone. With these tips, you'll have a lot more victories, go off on a lot more people, and you will have higher kill games. Oh, and also in the comments section down below, let me know how many kills you average per game in Warzone. I would love to know. Recently, I've been playing a lot of Warzone, and it just seems like every enemy that I've come across, no matter how many times I'm shooting them in the head, like as soon as he sees me, I'm dead. That's how fast it seems like I'm dying. Maybe it's the servers, or maybe it's just lag, who knows, but we'll find a way to get through it. Before we get into today's video, if you could leave a like down below, let's try to shoot for 9 likes and subscribe with those post notifications turned on. Anyways, let's get straight into it. The third tip that I want to share with you guys is to start third partying. Once you hear gunfire, once you see those red dots come up on the minimap, run towards that area. Just get to that area as soon as possible. Now, obviously, this may not seem like a smart thing to do, running into an area where there's enemies and they could potentially start shooting at you, but guys, trust me, hear me out on this one. Chances are, if you see a bunch of red dots come up on the minimap and hear a lot of gunfire from a certain area, then that means two teams are going at it, and that is good for you. Now, you may be wondering, well, why is this good? Because two things can happen here. One, you catch a team from behind and you easily kill them. And because that team that you just killed from behind was shooting across at the other team, you could easily take out that team because they're now weak from getting shot at. Or two, if one team takes out another team, then you'll completely catch them off guard because they're going to be too worried about healing themselves or reviving another down teammate. Or two, if one team kills another team, you'll completely catch them off guard here. Whether or not they're reviving a down teammate or just healing themselves, you can easily take them out. My next tip for you guys is to use a class that you're comfortable with. A class that has low recoil too, because that's super important, because you want to make sure that your accuracy is precise. One attachment to always run on all your weapons is the Muzzle Monolithic Suppressor. It's super important that you run this because it does give your weapon increased damage and range while keeping your gun suppressed. Or if you don't have the Monolithic Suppressor on a certain gun that you want to use, then just make sure that you put on an attachment that gives you increased damage and range. With the muzzle, you could also throw on a barrel. This will give you your increased damage and range for the gun that you're using. For example, if you're using the M4A1, go ahead and throw on the M16 stock Grenadier. This will give you increased damage and range. As I said before, the Monolithic Suppressor is super important to run on every class that has it. Put it on if it has it, because it does suppress your gunfire, meaning your red dots will not appear on the minimap. And when you get into a gunfight and you start shooting at that enemy, it's not going to appear on the minimap, and that's really good for you. My next tip for you guys is that I recommend you lower your ADS sensitivity. If you play on a super high ADS sensitivity of like 120, I don't think you're going to be able to get those long distance kills. It's just impossible to control your aim on that high of a sensitivity. So I recommend that you turn it down just a bit. When you're going for those long distance shots, having a low ADS sensitivity will help you become more accurate, and it will reduce weapon sway. In Warzone, I recommend your sensitivity be anywhere from 0.75 to 0.85. That is what I find to be the best ADS sensitivity within this game. You should also be setting yourself up for the win in every single gunfight. When you see an enemy, you gotta set yourself up. This could either be getting the height advantage or head glitching behind an object. Has there ever been a time when you're standing on top of a building trying to kill somebody and they're just head glitching, you can only see their forehead? I mean, it's super hard to hit, and it's just hard in general to kill somebody that's head glitching. My last tip for you guys is to make sure you have two things on your class that make you less visible to the enemy and more visible to them. So the first thing is to run the perk Ghost. This means they won't be able to use UAVs against you because they won't be able to see you on the map. They can't use heartbeat sensors either since you have Ghost on. That means they may be running in an area that you're in and they'll have no idea where you are, and this is the perfect opportunity to just sit and wait on them and get the easy kill. The second thing you want to run is a heartbeat sensor. This is super important to have so that way you can take it out every few seconds and make sure that there's no enemies around you. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. If you want to see more Warzone videos, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe with those post notifications turned on. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Connor, and I will see you in the next one.